Let's start with the basics when it comes to your locks. Because when it comes to washing your locks, one size does not fit all. If you're not sure how often you're supposed to wash your locks, these tips will help give you a solid foundation. The first tip, you must wash your starter locks every 4 to 6 weeks. This is so that you can avoid unraveling. We all know when you first get your starter locks, it's very critical in the starter lock stage. So you want to wash every 4 to 6 weeks just so you can avoid unraveling at all costs, because nobody wants to start over their lock journey once it's already started, and nobody wants to start over their lock journey on account of being negligent, not knowing. Our second tip, mature locks can be washed every 3 to 6 weeks, because this can definitely go based on your scalp needs. Our next tip, do not overwash your hair. Too much washing can definitely strip your lock all of the scalp's natural oil. Our next tip, you have to listen to your scalp. Itchiness, flaking, or odor may mean that it's time to wash your lock. Our next tip, use residue-free shampoos. This helps prevent buildup inside of your lock. Our next tip for washing your lock, avoid conditioner in the early stages of your lock journey. It can cause a lot of slippage and a lot of breakage in your lock. Another tip, dry your locks complete when you wash your lock. This will help you avoid mildew in your lock. Another tip for washing your locks is use a microfiber towel or a t-shirt. This is to squeeze all of the water out of your lock without causing frizz. Another tip, let your locks air dry, or you can use a hooded dryer, but it has to dry. You don't want no damp roots. Another tip, clarify your locks once a month, especially if you know you're using heavy products. Now let's talk about washing your locks based on your lifestyle. How you live definitely affects how you wash your locks. From gym days to beach days, these are real life factors that can change how often you wash your locks. Do you work out often? If you work out often, I know you may think that you have to wash your hair a lot, but you don't. You just have to wash it on a routine. But I do want you to know that sweat can definitely cause buildup and cause an odor. Another tip, if you live in such a humid climate, your locks may need a little bit more loving. Another tip, if you swim a lot in chlorine water, always make sure you rinse out the chlorine water out of your hair or the seawater. You don't have to necessarily wash your lock, but you want to make sure that that chlorine and that seawater is out of your lock. Another tip, if you wear wigs or hat often, I want you to know that sometimes you may have to let your scalp breathe. Otherwise, you may find that you have to wash your hair more often just to make sure your scalp is clean. Locks are meant to be free. Another tip, if your job is outside, it's good to make sure your locks are covered. But the minute you see you are working outside and any sort of lint, any sort of product, any sort of dust gets in your hair, wash it out immediately to avoid buildup and to avoid lint damage. Let's get into product and technique tips of washing your locks. Washing your locks isn't just about how often, it's about doing it the right way. Let's break down smarter techniques and product tips to help with your lock. Our first tip, dilute your shampoos with water, less residue damage. Another tip, use a nozzle bottle. This is to apply the shampoo gently into your locks and your scalp. Another tip, massage your scalp regularly during washing. Do not run to wash your hair. Always massage your scalp regularly when it comes to washing. Another tip, you have to rinse thoroughly when you just shampooed your hair, twice if needed. Product gets stuck inside your locks, so it's best that you try to get the product out as best as you can. And I want you to know, product inside equals buildup. Another tip, follow up with light oil after drying. This is just to lock in the moisture. Now let's get into the misconceptional tips of washing your locks. Sometimes we gotta clear up the biggest myths there is when it comes to washing your locks. Let's separate the facts from the fiction. I want you to know, dirty locks does not grow faster. That's a myth. Secondly, washing your locks does not slow down your process. It helps your locks to mature. Our next tip, you do not need to retwist and wash your locks every day. You retwist and wash as needed. Our next tip, skipping wash day to preserve a style can lead to a lot of buildup and a lot of scalp irritation. Another tip, it's okay to rinse your lock in between washes. You feel your scalp is very irritated. Let's get into the teen and long care tips of washing your lock. Finally, let's talk about how to build a long-term wash routine actually works for you and your lock. Our first tip is, I want you to establish a wash routine that fits you. I want you to know, in any journey, consistency frequency is key. Another tip, I want you to always track your process of your washing because you want to be aware of how your scalp is reacting. A lot of our scalps react to different wash frequencies, so you want to pay very close attention to how your scalp is reacting in the moment. Another tip, I want you to use warm and not hot water when you're washing your locks. This is to avoid drying out your hair and scalp. Another tip, I want you to avoid shampoos with sulfate and parabens. They definitely strips the moisture in your hair. Another tip, make wash day a self-care moment. I want you to remember everybody's lock journey is different, but clean and healthy locks are always going to be the end goal. Drop a comment below and let me know how often do you wash your locks. What's your routine? If you're interested in more lock videos, you can be sure to check out my lock playlist, Welcome to My Lock Paradise, for more tips that can help you on your lock journey. I'll see you on the next one.